There is a principle called Wu Wei. Wu means none or not. Wei can mean action, making, but the best translation I have found for it is forcing. And so Wu Wei is the principle of not forcing. Now we know when we watch any performance of an artist, be it a dancer or an actor or a musician, we know immediately when the performance is forced. And we say it doesn't ring true, it's too artificial, it doesn't seem to be natural. Many people who study the Taoist doctrines think that Wu Wei means do nothing. It doesn't mean that. There is a time for action. When you study judo, you use muscle only at the right moment. When your opponent is hopelessly overextended and off balance, and you add a little muscle to it and you throw him across the room. But only then. You never use muscle at the wrong moment. For as Shakespeare knew perfectly well, there is a tide in the affairs of men which, taken at its flood, leads on to fortune. And so Wu Wei is based on knowledge of the tide, the drift of things. Get with it. Wu Wei is the art of sailing rather than the art of rowing. Wu Wei is not a matter of cultivated passivity or even of cultivated spontaneity, because there are people who think that they are released, that they have realized that they are the Tao, as all of us in fact are, the eternal self of the universe, beyond all description or classification or thought. And say, okay, baby, I'm that. Now I'm going to have a ball. Well, what kind of a ball do they have? Well, what they do is they look up the rules on which society runs and do the opposite. Well, that's still running by the rules of society. And it's the mirror image in reverse. That's not spontaneity. You have to be able to realize that you don't know what you really want to do until you are very quiet. To quote Jesus, unless you become again as a child, you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. We understand that heaven is space. And all those references in those nursery rhymes that we learned as children, which were the hymns about heaven, always were talking about thrones and crowns and harps and streets of glass, crystals, transparencies, space, which nobody can define, nobody can imagine, appears to be nothing, is the foundation of the universe. But you have to become again as a child to see that. So we get a funny feeling when we think those questions really through. Very funny feeling. And children, you see, love to get into that funny feeling. Children do all kinds of weird things and test out their bodies in all sorts of funny ways, because they know from the beginning that the world is weird, because everybody knows what it's all about, only they won't admit it. Being brought up is being taught not to admit it. You know very well what's going on. But in order to find out once more as an adult, you have to become again as a child. Means, ladies and gentlemen, would you please check your ideas and opinions at the door? All your philosophical and religious views, all your logic. I'm not trying to argue you out of your opinions and views. I'm merely suggesting to temporarily suspend them and view what is. Red is not red, blue is not blue. Hard is not hard, soft is not soft. Male is not male, female is not female. There is just this jazz.